Alright, so in this video, I wanted to discuss in-depth assessment of a comparison between Vanuatu and let's say the Caribbean citizenship options. Let's say you're choosing between, let's say just a random example, St. Kitts and Nevis at 125 versus the Vanuatu. The new options for Vanuatu, that are upcoming are very interesting to a lot of people. At 99, slightly lesser than 100k USD. If the bond option rolls out, now again, be mindful, this bond option has not yet been launched, right? So no one is currently eligible to go and apply for this one, but obviously notify my viewers. So make sure you're subscribed. So if you're subscribed, you'll be the first one to be notified once this starts, right? And also turn on the bell notification so you don't miss out that that release, right? So once it starts, you're comparing an option without donation, right? So this one, or rather less than 100k of investment is going to be in a bond. So it's a bond investment. It's not going to be donation, unlike like the St. Kitts and Nevis option. They have the 125 donation, right? You're parting away with the capital. You're not going to see that back. When Vanuatu starts their program, you're looking at getting back the entire amount. So it's donation of 125 versus a bond investment, which is fully refundable. Now, obviously, they're going to be processing fees in both cases. So an approximately similar type of processing fees, you're looking at anything from 10,000 to 15,000 USD, KUSD, right? So a lot of people are concerned about the reputation, right? So what is the reputation of the Caribbean citizenships? Is it a better reputation than, let's say, Vanuatu? Now, the thing with Vanuatu is, yes, there have been some questionable cases, right? A lot of, let's say, people with criminal past were able to get access to the citizenship. So that is the reputation that it will carry. Now, I don't want to comment too much on whether it's a good reputation or a bad reputation. Obviously, if you use some common sense, then you get to know what I'm talking about. With the Caribbean options, again, the due diligence chief of the, let's say, the St. Kitts and Nevis program, now there have been allegations of scams in millions of dollars, even against the due diligence officer in that case. Now, again, we are not saying anything good or bad against the program. Those are allegations. Once they are proved, things become more clearer. So when you talk about the reputation, I think they all fall in the similar ballpark and the same range, kind of. The one interesting thing with the Caribbean options is now the US government is very interested. There's some key changes that the US was able to bring about after meeting the Caribbean PMs. And I have covered this extensively. You can check some of my other videos. There's also some tracking mechanism at the banks and obviously airports, and when you travel around the world, when you're trying to use one of these passports, yes, getting the citizenship, adding to the numbers is all great, but when you're actually using these options, obviously there's some tracking mechanism to make sure that you're not misusing these, because obviously a lot of people use these options for misuse and all of that. Again, heavily discouraged. Because if you're thinking of doing something wrong, and if you're thinking that these options is going to assist you, no, that's absolutely the opposite, right? If you're doing anything wrong or illegal, and if you're using any of the pay for passport, cash passport schemes, they're going to put you directly into trouble, more into trouble, because not only that they have a lot of eyes and eyeballs watching them, but they also collect all the information possible from you as part of the supreme due diligence process. So if there's any investigation, if there's anything slightly up and down, then obviously it's all going to catch the spotlight. But when it comes to the reputation, well, the US is now involved. The Western governments are watching this. There's a request for auditing, which they have agreed to. So even if you got this citizenship, let's say you did something wrong, you got it, auditing is going to uncover all of that and put you back in, obviously, where you need to be, right? So put you back in place, I meant. So that's the thing with it. A lot of people like US's involvement, right? When there's there's transparency, there's extreme due diligence. They collect all of that information. Some people like that. They like to be like more information. Less privacy is always good because it adds transparency. There's the other section of people who like privacy, not that they're doing anything wrong or they plan to do anything wrong. No one should ever plan or do anything wrong. Again, needless to say that. But a lot of people still like privacy. They don't, they just feel private information should stay private. So in that sense, obviously you're not keeping your information private. You're obviously supplying all of the information that you could think of through the application forms. A lot of these application forms are updated, instantly on the fly when governments will ask them to, include stuff like, let's say, as I said, auditing, interviews. So in-person interviews is a big change. When it's not physically possible, maybe there's a request for remote interview, but all of that live interview information is always also captured for future reference and auditing purposes. So that's that. So if you compare the two, the reputation, I believe, now is similar across programs. Price point wise, obviously Vanuatu makes sense. Reputation wise, maybe, and I'm just saying maybe, the Caribbean options makes sense. But again, if you ask me my opinion, they all fall in the same ballpark, right? They're all similar options. Now, some people like these options, which is great, right? And some people don't like all of this, right? They don't want the reputational hassle, good or bad, but the whole CBI reputation, all of the limelight, spotlight, eyeballs, a lot of people don't prefer that. And for those type of people, there are flexible residencies that then could lead to citizenship. And this is around the world. There are a lot of options which a lot of people aren't even aware of. You have some awesome options in the Africas. We work with some of the strongest attorneys in the African region in multiple countries. Continue to explore other programs in the African regions. And then you have obviously the whole Latin America. Again, a very evolving, day-to-day changes, right? Every program is coming up with the tightening some screws, some nuts somewhere, closing options, increasing the prices. Like the Panama, obviously the prices went up. Mexico, the prices are going up every single day, almost every single day. Again, each consulate is interpreting prices differently, but again, the Mexican option is still, it's kind of, Mexico is too good to be true kind of an option. Again, I don't know how far this continues. I hope it does continue, the way it is. It always is a great option for a lot of people. The more people can get into Mexico, more good people can get into Mexico, the better it is for the country's economy and all of that. So always pro investment opportunities and options for foreigners. It just helps everyone in general and makes the country competitive and helps it grow faster. You have tons of other options in the Latin Americas which are really good, still good, that can be considered. There's the whole Gulf region. For someone who is not looking for citizenship, there are some real good options in the Gulf. Now, I did cover Oman, a very interesting one, right? Oman is quite different to Dubai and Qatar. It gets you some of the same advantages of Dubai and Qatar, but it goes one step further. So I have covered some unique advantages. So if you have missed my Oman video, you can return and check this link that pops up. You can return and check that one later. But Oman is a great option in the Gulf. There are 5 options in total in Gulf. Again, covered most of them. And then there are a couple of options in the Asian region. Now, Gulf and Asia would not get you that citizenship that easily. If you're looking for citizenship, then you have some great options in Africa. You have a lot of great options in Latin America as well as North America. And if you at any point, a couple of things. One is make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on any of the latest updates. And second is, if you are looking to get started with your residency, you want to discuss what all options exist and what is the best in your particular situation. Maybe it's tax optimization related, maybe it's residency, plan B, security, safety related. You can always click that link in the description. Book a call with us. We can discuss specifically your needs, what your objective is, and then get you started with the right residency option with the right legal expert. Now, none of this is immigration, legal, tax, or finance advice, but once you connect with us, we can then obviously work with the right professionals to get you started with the options that you're looking for. All right, I hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subbed, and catch you in the next one.